Billy Joe Miles. Billy Joe Miles is a 1962 Western graduate in agronomy and an entrepreneur in the agricultural supply, research and development business. He's also involved in the fuel and lubricants industry and convenience stores. For the past 3 decades, a family business that began selling seed corn from a one-room building on his dad's farm has now grown into 5 very successful and entrepreneurial corporations. Our next inductee, Billy Joe Miles.
Billy Joe Miles learned the key to business success at Western Kentucky University.
Business is totally about relationships. And I guess the one thing that the students and the student body at Western have that I think is better than any other school in the world is that relationship. So my classmates, the professors, the people that I've known at Western all have that same ingrained ability to communicate and help each other.
But he almost didn't make it to Western. He'd already registered at the University of Kentucky when lifelong friend and former Hilltopper basketball All-American Bobby Rasco persuaded him to come to campus and at least take a look around.
When I went to the campus, everyone was friendly. The atmosphere was really fit, I guess, my lifestyle. And I got to know the people in the agriculture department. And as I knew those people, I knew that that's where I wanted to go to school.
While Miles was at Western, his father sold seed corn from a one-room building on their 200-plus acre farm. He graduated in 1962 and went to work for his father. Now Miles Enterprises consists of 5 corporations with divisions in agricultural supplies, research and development, fuel and lubricants, and convenience stores.
Everything always leads to something else. And everything always complements everything else. Even, you wouldn't think there would be any relationship between a convenience store business and farm supply, but everything is marketing and relationship.
He's president of Miles Farm Supply, president of Marathon Fuels, vice president of Miles LP Gas, and chairman of X-Seed Genetics. He says the world feels the innovations of Miles Enterprises every day. The genetic engineering in the biotech program helps develop food and medicine. Then there's the OptiCrop program.
We will be able to identify the cereal on your table, what farmer raised that grain. We'll be able to certify what chemical, what fertilizer went on it, and that it is safe. And that's part of the food safety chain that we're involved in.
Miles also tried his hand at the banking and at the entertainment business, but the agriculture business is still his true love.
So agriculture really is a lot like missionary work. It's really the cheaper, better food we have, really the better it is for the whole world. And I have a deep feeling about that and really love the people involved in that.
He says he built the Summit Country Club so people would have something to remember him by.
Your family will normally remember you for about a week or 10 days. The ones really love you maybe a year, but the public will forget you ever existed within a week. So these are the things that I can leave, and they'll be here for people like me to enjoy.
Miles still considers himself a farmer, but he has accomplished what most business owners just dream about.
There's not a country in the world that I don't have friends and people that I could go today and ask for any favor. And I guess that overshadows anything that I've ever done in my life.
No matter where his world travels take him, or no matter whom he meets,
there's no place in the world that has the feeling and warmness of Western. And that goes from the faculty, but it's mainly, I think it's like a seed that's being planted. I don't know whether Wendell Cherry or Hardin or who planted that seed, but that seed's still a and it's still growing well. If you go to Western today at the campus, you will have that same infectious feeling that I had when I went there, you know, not thinking I was going to be a student, but just taking one day out of my life to be with a friend. You know, you see the relationships that are created, and that's how I got to where I am today.
1998 Hall of Distinguished Alumni honoree, Billy Joe Miles.
Well, I'm really kind of out of my class, really, in a way up here. But the way I got up here was kind of a combination thing. These people all did things as individuals, and my family and my employees put me here. Would you all stand up? I pretty well, I've had the best life, I'd say, of anybody here, Dr. Ansdale. And I've used these relationships that I developed at Western. I live on the farm where where Mr. Fisher was raised. And everything I've done through life has been through the relationships that I've had, my employees and my family. And I've used these relationships a lot. Harold Brantley is the best appraiser in the state. And when I want to buy something cheap, I get Harold to appraise it. And when I want to sell something high, I get Harold to appraise it. I had a little grain elevator was losing money on the river and had to have it appraised, and the railroad owned the property. And it was right on the Ohio River, right downtown, any of you in Owensboro. It was joining the River Park Center. And the railroad hired an appraiser and appraised it, and it was riverfront property right by the bridge, right on the main highway, and right in the heart of town. And they appraised it a lot of money. And Harold appraised it, and his appraisal said it was under a bridge, it was located by a wetland, and that it was hard to get to and probably could never be developed. So those are the type of relationships that have kind of got me to where I've got. And every day things happen that my family does in the operation that I get credit for. And I take that credit and act like I'm the only one there. But without a doubt, we deal in what I do around the world with a lot of major industry, major companies. And the majority of my employees are Western graduates. And I will guarantee you there's not a company in the world that we can't compete with day after day and do that day after day and are recognized in what we do is one of the better companies in the world. So those employees really, I really didn't get an award, they did. You know, I get wound up and talk too much, but there's one thing I'd like to single out. One guy in my life had more influence in business decisions and about making money, and he wasn't an economics teacher, he was a dairy instructor, Billy Adams. And Billy Adams had more influence on me here in school. I hated every day I went to school as far as studying, but as far as the way to deal with people, make a living, and really address life, I learned more here at Western under Adams than anyone that I've ever been around with. Billy, would you stand up? He really had a lot of influence on me, and that influence still goes on today. I feel really humble about getting this award, and I want everyone here to know that this group got this award, not just me.
Our next recipient